6 seed. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2024 AVP Manhattan Beach Open. I'm Rob Aspero with Victoria on the mic. Not Rob on the mic, Victoria on the mic. That's Victoria Dennis, and it's been an absolute pleasure being here in one day, and we're day 2 for the absolute mayhem that is the Manhattan Beach Open, Victoria.
Yeah, I mean, such a historical event. It's without say, probably a fan favorite of any tour stop on the AVP. I mean, the deep roots here in the deep sand south side of the iconic Manhattan Beach Pier. And what a ball game do we have here on court number 1, game number 2 of the day.
We've got the 6th seed Phil Dalhausser paired up with Avery Drost, facing off number 3 seed, the Paris Olympians, Andy Benesh and Miles Partain, and that's Miles off the serve. He goes right down on the Drost to start it off. Beautiful hand set by Phil. Drop down the line. Partain on the good pickup. Benesh on the pick. Knuckles it down, and Phil's caught in the net.
Well, what an exciting game we have ahead as the fans are bright-eyed and bushy-tailed here on Saturday morning with their coffees in their hands. And luckily for them, well, they have 3 Olympians here on court number 1 in a casual game of volleyball.
Partain back from Italy was partner Andy Benesh. You've got a brief pause because Avery Drost in that last dive got a ton of sand thrown up in his face, making the effort. And a great fellow competitor there. He had Miles Partain going to his bench, get a towel, start walking over to get Avery a towel. These guys all get along well here. They're just great colleagues and competitors on the court. Partain, a 6'3" defender from Pacific Palisades, the former Bruin. Drost with a quick snap. My goodness.
A great first ball side out there. Avery looking at the crowd saying, let's go.
He had such a quick approach. His arm was already extended. That was all wrist magic right there. We got 1 serving 1. Drost back to serve. Takes it down the line to Benesh. A little tight pass, and they fake in a double contact. He's going to fake the attack and try to set it. Maybe some nervous energy happening here on the court to start us off.
I don't know. I feel like Miles Partain and Andy Benesh just got off of the biggest stage in the world. So, I mean, same, a little bit different here on the AVP. It is the granddaddy of them all, but I would expect them to handle their nerves here.
Drost going down the line over towards Benesh. Another fake attack, pushing it out to the pin was Partain. Benesh on the swing. Drost on the drink. Drost blocked at the night. Phil unable to get a good arm under for the cover. 2-2.
And if you were a volley nerd like us, then you watched Miles Partain and Andy Benesh compete for Team USA at the Paris Olympic Games just a couple weeks ago. And it was a battle for them over there. A pleasure to see them represent the US.
Beautiful set by Avery. Good cover by Miles. Miles gets up, swings with a lefty, and the thin beast turning out the lights.
4-time Olympian Phil Dalhausser standing at 6'9". Resides in Orlando, Florida. And he has quite a number of finishes under his belt. He has won 63 AVPs.
Tough serve by Phil. Pass and the 2-ball attack, and thank goodness Avery got his hands up. That was going straight for the head.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to read and react, and that was the reaction there.
Miles is has such a wicked arm swing for a lefty. Watching him play indoor and going over on 2, just not fair at times. But on the beach, with him coming out the right side, you got to respect that second ball. Drost with a great pass. Might as well be a set for Phil as Phil drops the rock on our first side switch, up 4-3.
I love both of these teams being so aggressive at the service line. Avery's really getting the fans involved, cheering with them and at them. Sometimes you just got to pump your side up.
Yeah, we got the crowd draw here again on court 1 again. But a great crowd filling in the piers, got fans sitting, watching. Benesh over, actually saved by Miles. Swing away, Andy. Good dig by Phil. Phil on the outside attack, knuckles over the block, knuckle dig by Miles. Miles goes cross court, Avery unable to control it, but that was a laser out of the left side by Miles.
What a scramble play by Miles and Andy. Miles Partain is standing at 6'3" out of the Pacific Palisades. Started playing beach volleyball in 2012 at age 10. A young tyke out there.
Good serve pass by Drost. Hand set by Phil. Cuddy covered and dug by Miles. Miles now on the attack. Cracks across court with authority.
With Miles being that left-handed athlete on the right side, the angles are so much sharper. He's able to really curve and cut up inside the big block.
5 serving at 4. Andy Benesh back to serve. Remember seeing Andy in the Cardinal in gold playing for USC indoors back in the MPSF days. Drost looks and shoots over the block. Great placement, little surgical strike down the line.
Yeah, Andy standing at 6'8", was a middle blocker at USC, and then found his way out onto the sand. We actually were in the same training group down in Clearwater, Florida, St. Pete area.
Phil Dalhausser going back to serve. Our referee up top in the crow's nest. That's Matt Laveau or Bill Biv Laveau. Got Dave Vandermeer, or call him Vandy, courtside. Benesh faking the attack is Miles. Benesh off the block. And what do you do as a blocker if you're being held that long?
Yeah, well, we know that Partain loves that jump set. He does it almost every play. So you do have to respect it and be there for the on-2 option. You also have to know that he does do it quite frequently, and he should be setting his partner, Andy Benesh, a higher percentage of the time.
Great dig off of Phil by Miles. Hands it to the right pin. Miles goes inside the block. Drost with an excellent dig. Even better dig by Andy. Phil goes handset outside to Avery. Avery looks and he is denied.
A big-time play from a big-time athlete, Andy Benesh, getting in there and saying middle blockers play defense too. Scooping that ball up and then just getting right back to the net and pressing low across.
The wall of Benesh at Manhattan Beach is making an appearance. 7-5. Phenomenal rally with great digs on both sides, but that block leaving an imprint on the sand. I think they registered on the Richter scale.
Yeah, I think it did.
Drost back to serve after the service. Error 6 looking at 7. Avery Drost back to serve. Drost standing at 6'5", the defender from Redondo Beach. Great dig by Drost. Phil goes high ball into the middle. Drost shoots it. Great anticipation by Miles. Miles just rips it, doesn't even look.
And sometimes that's just what you have to do. If it's a scramble play in transition, you have to trust that you have good hand-to-ball contact, and sometimes you just got to swing to swing.
We've got 8 serve to 6 after the crack by Miles Partain. Big little point of interest here. You know, one of my first interviews with volleyballmag.com was with Miles and his brother when they qualified for Hermosa back in 2017 as 15 and 16-year-olds.
I remember when that happened.
Net violation called against Benesh, and in denial is Benesh. He's like, what you talking about? Vandy quick to the call, but that's a break for Phil. Actually, he put it away anyways. It didn't matter, but net was called 7-8. Phil Dalhausser back to serving. Not enough time to talk about the things that he's done. Just say he's a 4-time Olympian and has won a lot, and I think everyone knows. Benesh, high pass, Partain, handsets, and Drost was there in the pocket, but unable to get his platform underneath it, and so deflects on the court too.
Yeah, great first ball side out for Benesh and Partain. We expect them to have that jump set, that on-two option.
Float serve over towards Drost. Drost on the set from Phil, and Drost wipes it off the block of Benesh. And they almost didn't see the touch, but Avery Drost was very vocal in communicating his whatever he had to say.
Yeah, it was a good shot from Avery there. He tried to get the fingertips of Benesh and was successful.
Tight one to start us off here in our first set, 8 serving 9. Drost going aggressively down the line, hits the antenna and out of play.
The wind picking up just a little bit here. Nothing too drastic. About 6 miles an hour. We're seeing the breeze start to blow with those banners.
Andy Benesh serving it up, goes towards Drost, and Phil's going over on 2, and he pops a cap in the corner.
Because he can. Standing at 6'9".
He takes up a lot of real estate, Vic.
Yeah. His nickname, the Thin Beast.
Phil back to the service line. 9 looking at 10. Benesh high pass, Partain swings away, and Drost unable to come up with it. How do you play defense against a consistent 2-ball hitting team?
Yeah, I think you just have to be very disciplined on defense, and you have to respect it as the first line of attack. Like, you can't just wait on that second contact thinking that it's going to be a set. The second contact now is an offensive threat, so you have to be cognitive of that.
Good pass by Avery. Avery now on the attack from Phil, goes off the block, great cover by Partain. No look knuckler by Benesh. Phil's gonna swing, goes off the block, and the tool winner by Phil makes it 10-11 on our technical timeout. So Vic, here we are. First technical timeout, thoughts on the early part of our first set and match number 2 here on court 1.
Yeah, Benesh and Partain batting really well as a team. They're hitting 538, Dalhausser and Drost 214. So right now, Benesh, Partain finding that rhythm. Partain with 6 digs, Drost with 3. So for me right now, it's the defense in transition. Benesh has 2 blocks. They have combined 7 digs together, 1 block for Dalhausser. So it's how are Drost and Dalhausser able to earn in transition will be the question moving forward in the first set.
You definitely got to watch another match on court number 3. It's Hagen Smith and Logan Weber against Taylor Crabb and Taylor Sander, 15-15 in the first set. And we've got a tight one happening, as Vic is pointing out, in Stadium Court. Oh, maybe it's done.
And they just won.
It's a 3-setter between Taryn Cloth and Kristen Nuss and Gina Urango and Tony Rodriguez. Did you see who won? It kind of blanked out on me.
Taryn and Kristen won in 3. I believe the score said 15-12.
But we are back to our quarters. Our teams come out of the technical timeout. 10 serving, 11 Avery Drost back to serve. Drost, 6'5" defender from Redlands, California, finds his home in Redondo Beach, went to Westmont up in Santa Barbara. Easy to see why he took to beach volleyball in that Santa Barbara area. The East Beach peep. Good pass by Miles. Andy handsets right side. Roll shot over the block by Miles.
Great high hand-to-ball contact there. You can notice he leaves his elbow high the entire time he's attacking the ball. He never lets his elbow drop, very rarely.
12 serving at 10. Andy deploying the same service style as Phil. We got influence. Drost cross court sizzling. Kind of, Phil pushed him a little farther outside the sideline on that ball, so his angle was very limited.
Yeah, I like them spreading their offense right there. I think against a block like Benesh, he's going to have to move that set around, but Phil knows what he's doing. He can do this in his sleep.
What do we say? His 131st AVP event with 63 first place finishes. $1 million club.
Right.
And Partain, smooth as silk on the 2-ball.
Yeah, there you have it, folks. We've seen it and we'll see it again. Partain having quite the indoor career as well before he made the quick transition to beach volleyball. Graduated high school early, graduated college early, all for that Olympic run, which he was able to achieve here in Paris.
Drost with a good pass on the short serve. Drost down the line. Partain, great anticipation. Partain gets up, goes over the block. Drost there on the pickup. Back set by Phil. Drost swings off the cable and down. Still shows as a kill in the stat book.
Yeah, Avery was able for that ball to come across his hitting window, and it was a sharp angle. He was able to sneak it through there, but that quick hand-to-ball contact at that last second.
Avery Drost back to serve, awaiting signals from his partner, Phil Dalhausser, the 4-time Olympian. Benesh passes, pushed out the left pin. It's a trap set. Going over the block is Benesh. Overpass. Partain picks it up. Benesh sets, and Partain goes extreme angle, but misses just a bit wide.
Yeah, that ball was wide. Either Partain needs to kick out to hit that wide set a little bit more, or they need to bring it inside. I think they're talking about that there as they walked back to serve receive. But 13-13 here in the first set.
Drost back to the service line. They haven't really been mixing it up. They've been going at Miles. But Andy steps in, passes the seam, fake attack. Andy goes off the block of Phil, 14-13.
Partain able to use that jump set to his advantage. Dalhausser pulled off the net thinking he was going to go on 2, and then was late to that block on Benesh, and Benesh was able to find a kill with that.
14 serving to 13. Smoothing into his routine. That's a tough serve by Andy. Drost looks and misses long. Almost looked like he got into that approach kind of late. He hit that set low instead of out of the apex of his jump.
Yeah, it was on his way down a bit, caught the underside of that ball. He was trying to play aggressive, go for a swing with it.
We've got 15 serving to 13. Oh, and tickling the end line on the ace winner. That's Andy Benesh, and we have our first time out with the team of Andy Benesh and Miles Partain, leading here in set number 1 in our Survival Saturday matchup. I'm Rob Aspero with Victoria Dennis, hanging courtside here in the Manhattan Beach Open. Want to talk about something new that's coming up, and that is the AVP League. Victoria, I want to jump in and talk about what's coming up here at the end of our regular season here.
Yeah, so very exciting AVP League happening. The names of the teams were just dropped in the cities across the U.S., and it's on the big banner here on Stadium Court. So we'll have LA Launch, San Diego Smash, New York Nitro, Brooklyn Blaze, Palm Beach Passion, Miami Mayhem, Dallas Dream, and Austin Aces. So how you can solidify your spot in the league? Well, come on down and win one of these heritage events, Huntington, Manhattan, and Chicago, to follow Manhattan here. And you will get your ticket into the draft of the league, and the team managers will be drafting the teams around the country. They have the option of picking a women's or a men's team in the first round of their pick, and then the latter in their second.
Well, we've got a few teams already qualified. One of those teams on the women's side is Brandy Wilkerson and Melissa Humana Paredes. You check it out on the AVP's Instagram, they got it. And then on the men's side, as we are actually, let's go into this rally here. Drost, extreme angle. Miles steps in on that dig in the pocket. And Phil, not in his house. But technically it could be his house.
Yeah, I mean, to say that his block is a force to be reckoned with is an understatement. I mean, he takes away so much space, and we've seen it for a very long time, and it's just really exciting to see him continue to compete out here.
So finishing at the dot, qualifying for the league on the men's side, only one team so far, Taylor Crabb and Taylor Sander.
Right, so they won the Heritage event at Huntington Beach. That's a double call on Partain. Maybe a little too much spin on that ball. But second in the league tracker is Cody Caldwell and Sean Cook, who we just saw beat their foes, it seems to be recently, Triborn and Wilcox.
Well, they've had a great 2024 season with 2 second-place finishes and a third-place finish. And that's a combination of contender and heritage events. Trap set, reaching up and over is Miles, and Phil hammers off of Benesh. And now Benesh and Partain take the timeout after that 4-point run. That was a great timeout by Dalhausser and Drost to come back into this first set. But Phil really stepping up on that second ball attack. Looking onto the chat board. Here, I'll ask you, Victoria, since you're the former beach volleyball player, why does Phil drop his knees at 3 sets?
Well, you're going with the flow. It's a momentum thing. So luckily on the sand, we do have that soft surface under us when we're making those plays, especially in transition. You want to make sure that you're flowing into your set, that your knees and your elbows are coiled at the same time, and that you release at the same time as well. So we can see him drop to his knees because it's one fluid motion. He's able to get to that ball. He's moving through the ball. He's a moving object. The ball's a moving object. And then you put those two forces together. There's a little bit of give and take. So you can see that's probably why he drops to his knees, as other athletes do as well when they're setting specifically in transition.
We've got 16 serve to 16. Dalhausser back to serve here in set number 1. Winner of this match will play the winner of match 38. That's Hagen Smith, Logan Weber, Taylor Crabb, as Benesh goes high and hard off the block of Phil. Taylor Crabb and Taylor Sander, they'll be here on court 1. They'll be streaming, so they answer some of the questions for you in the crowd zone. The Sander and Crabb duo will be here at noon, assuming that they win against Hagen Smith and Logan Weber. Drost, good pass to the net. Net violation on Benesh.
Go, Avery, good shot.
This is a third net violation, I believe. Only one set of play.
Yeah, usually you don't see those unforced errors from a seasoned player like Benesh, but it still happens at this level.
Drost going over towards area 1. And Benesh hit it off the arms of Phil. He didn't know where it was at. He's looking around, but ended up falling on their side.
Yeah, great swing there from Benesh, attacking high hands as he has to do, solidifying that 1-point lead. So he's running up here. It'd be interesting to see if there's an option play from Avery and Phil.
18-17, crunch time score here on set number 1, on court number 1. Great movement on that float serve by Andy, and Drost throws down out of the right side.
A smooth and steady veteran side out from Phil. I remember my first time meeting him. I was 13 at the Manhattan Beach Open as a volunteer on stadium court, helping with the ball shagging.
18-18. That was like 3 years ago, Vic? Ball set out to the outside pin, and Phil was on defense on that one, but Benesh had a really hard swing at the pin.
Yeah, so just like that. So that's exactly why I said I love to see Partain keep setting his partner Benesh, especially Benesh, 6'8". He is lethal as an offensive player. And yeah, that's why I said I'd like to see Partain set Benesh.
Short serve, pass into the net, saved by Phil, who's getting dirty, but Benesh clamping down on that middle set.
Go ahead and feed the Bees. Back-to-back momentum plays earned by Benesh on that kill attack and stuff block.
That brings us to set point, serve to 18 with Miles Partain back to serve on the side. Another short serve. Drost looks, shoots, dig by Miles. Miles going over the rainbow and down for point. Set number 1 going to Andy Benesh, Miles Partain. They take the first 21-18 to go up 1-0 here in our AVP Manhattan Beach Open. Still in the winner's bracket side. Loser drops to the contenders, but what did we see after one set of play, Vic?
Yeah, well, I saw 10 digs for Partain. He is all over the place and reads the game so well. Yes, he's a young athlete, but he has many reps under his belt to get to this stage in his career so early and so young. But yeah, 10 digs for Partain, being able to earn in transition. He's batting .333 at the moment. He has a big block in front of him, so I think he's doing a really good job there. 2 blocks for Dalhausser on his side. And Drost with 6 kills and 6 digs. So for me, it's Benesh and Partain being able to earn those 1 to 2 plays in transition, because right now they're digging more volleyballs, they're getting more touches on their block, and they look like a well-oiled machine, not only in serve receive, but in transition.
Well, for the team of Andy Benesh and Miles Partain, it's defense, defense, defense. 12 total digs as a team versus the 8 for Dalhausser and Drost. And then if you look at the blocking, although it's Benesh leading way 3 kills across the court, or 3 blocks across the court, the hitting percentage is the telling story here. 231 for Dalhausser and Drost versus the 462 for Benesh and Partain.
Right, and a big chunk of that are those kills that are happening in transition. So that's where they're able to find that success in set number 1.
We're back out of the intermission to start set number 2 with a team of Benesh and Partain up 1-0. Number 6 seed of Drost and Drost and Dalhausser with a serve, and Dalhausser taking out the trash on the overpass.
Yeah, great aggressive serve from Avery at the service line, forcing that overpass, especially with Phil at the net, who will take care of that every single time.
Drost having Phil move over a little bit. Aggressive serve down the line, misses about a foot wide by Avery.
I like him going for that aggressive serve, trying to tag those sidelines. He's trying to push that offense of Partain out wide to the pin.
Partain really serving short quite a bit as Phil goes wrist away on the winner.
A steady, smooth side out kill from Phil. Going thumbs down on that ball.
Dalhausser listed at 6'9" from Baden, Switzerland, Orlando, Florida, and University of Central Florida. Phil off the cable. Partain on 2. Wasn't clean, but it got done.
Sneaking it through, very crafty. I love that these two just kind of test the limit there on that on-2 option ball. They practice it. I see them on the sand in the South Bay every single day, and they just try to, you know, extend what this game of volleyball looks like. and expand it. Great soft touch there.
Great dig by Phil. Avery gets underneath it, almost going into the referee stand. Benesh trying to go for the placement winner, but instead just still lands on the side, his same side.
Nice hustle there from Avery to keep that ball alive as he gathers himself at the end line.
3 serving to 2. To our fans in the crowd zone, if you want to get scores of other courts, just misses wide on that jump serve. You can always go to the avp.com, and live scoring is available on the courts that are in play today, as well as the live bracket. 3 serving to 3. Wind really picking up here on the coastline, and Partain delivers an ace into the seam of uncertainty.
Yeah, that wind is starting to pick up a bit. It's coming from the southwest side. So if you're looking at the court, I would say that Benesh and Partain are on the good side right now. They are serving into the wind.
4 serving to 3. Another short serve. Bad pass, saved by Phil on the knuckler, and little save action on the Partain Benesh side. It was not a clean rally by any means. A lot of bodies on the sand, a lot of wonky spin on the ball just to try and keep it in play. Apologize to you in the crowd zone. I think bandwidth is an all-time high demand here on the beach, and nothing is refreshing on my end. 4 serving 4. Good pass. And the thin base with the rejection.
Taking away all the options at the net. Phil Dalhausser doing what he does best, and that's housing volleyballs. He just presses low into that seam with his right hand and into the face of his opponent with the left.
That's the Orlando Roofing Company. Oh, great set by Partain. Little shake and bake. He faked the attack and then threw it out to the left pin.
Yeah, so it works yet again, right? Partain with that jump set and then feeding his partner Benesh to put that ball away.
5 serving to 5. A little tighter set here in our second set. Low pass by Drost. Drost. The favor is returned with a stuff block by Benesh, just dropping his hands into that angle.
Right, many reps blocking underneath his belt as a middle blocker at USC and carrying it over here onto the sand. He has very good vision when he's tracking the attackers in front of him.
Deep float serve. And getting it back is Avery Drost.
Great swing there from Avery. Standing at 6'5", has that reach.
I'm curious as to why Phil's setting Avery more off the net. Is it because Andy's getting into his groove on the block?
Correct, yeah. So creating that space off the net with that set is very smart of Phil to let Avery have a couple more angles and options with that big block in his face.
Looping it over the block of Phil was Partain, and he didn't really have any other options because he had too much momentum coming in for that second ball. And how's it like to be underneath 2 huge arms of a blocker of Phil Dalhausser?
Yeah, exactly. Have to get a little crafty with it.
Good pass by Avery. That sets a little on, and this time Avery takes advantage of Benesh's outside hand.
Yeah, great swing there from Avery. There was no delay in his arm swing. He didn't hang and wait for that ball. As soon as his feet left the sand, his arm swing unloaded quickly on that volleyball.
7-7 on the turn here in our second set. Avery and Phil trying to force a third set tiebreak after dropping the first 21-18 against the Paris Olympians. Service into the net. 8-7. Andy and Miles, 9th place finish in Paris. That's some excellent play if you guys have been watching the Olympics. And the ball falls on the side. Unforced error. 9-7 for Benesh and Partain.
We're getting random gusts of wind coming off of the ocean right now, and there's some pockets on this court where the ball may drop or float out, depending on the gusts that are coming off of that ocean.
There's a pause on the court. I wonder why there's an extended wait right there. I couldn't figure out what's going on. Area 1 serve picked up by Drost. It's a broken play. Drost goes to the left hand and takes care of business. It's amazing seeing the effort that Phil is putting out on the court here, and that's what makes him the greatest.
It makes him one of the greatest of all time indeed, and yeah, he can do this in his sleep. Has over $1 million in prize money over his career.
The $1 million man. I mean,
yeah.
Actually, it's not that much in this inflationary income, but that's a topic for another day.
In this economy.
High pass, fakie, and rolling it down the line is Miles. And I was sold that Benesh is going to hit that second ball.
I know, it's so fun to watch them do it. They sell it so well.
It's like, you got to watch it courtside because I'm looking on the stream, it does not do it justice.
No, it doesn't.
10 serving to 8. And a service error by Partain. I think the wind's playing tricks here. It's actually on the side where it should have actually flied a little further.
Yeah, the toss might have been just a bit low. Caught it on his way down.
Got Avery at the net blocking while Phil is serving. Avery's, like, as much as I've been following, he'd always been a blocker. Goes off the cable. And swinging away is Miles. Seeing that in the Olympics, it's like, how do you adjust to that when that ball's passed off the net?
Right, especially in a quick serve receive play like that. I mean, they train that day in and day out where they rep out that second ball attack in serve receive and location specific as well.
Good pass by Avery. And winning out and sizzling inside the angle is Avery Drost.
Sending us into our technical timeout here in set number 2, and the batting average has swung in the favor of Avery and Dalhausser in set number 2. They are batting .364, Benesh and Partain .222. So on average, and here in the second set, they're able to hit a bit better on their side, and looks to be the difference here.
Well, it's like they're saying neck and neck here in this second set, and there's definitely a little slower rhythm, like they're more focused on each of the plays so far, or each of the points.
Right, there seems to be a little bit more tunnel vision on their side and not so worried about maybe what the other side of the net is doing, but what can we control on our side of the net? Have intention with every single touch on the ball, where we're placing it when we're setting, and then the rest will fall into place.
Well, what's crazy is, at least from the service error standpoint, 3 service errors for Dalhausser and Drost versus the 1 for Benesh and Partain, and they could turn that. They would be up 2 without those service errors here.
Right, a game of inches and errors.
Overpass goes right over to Phil. This could be devastating on the attack, and Benesh steps in to take it. Jump set action by Phil. Miles, excellent dig to Andy. Another block for Phil. And Phil kind of stuck in no man's land. He wanted to pull, but he'd already taken 2 steps off and had to go up for a block.
Defense wins championships and tournaments, and those 2 defensive digs from Benesh and Partain were huge in that rally. Both of them just buckling down on their side, and they had their arms out and ready, just ready to reflect those digs they expected to go straight down at them.
12 serving at 10, 2-point lead again for Andy and Miles. Phil rolling by Andy. Sitting in that angle pocket was Miles, so that was the only place he could have gone.
Right, great vision from Avery there. Benesh diving into that angle. Avery identifying that move on defense and then just doubling down, going up and over that block.
It's interesting seeing the strategy of Avery and Phil, because last time Avery stayed up in the net and blocked, and I think they want to respect that 2-ball by Miles. So they're trying to serve Andy, as they just did, and Miles has been attacking on 2, but that roll shot, they're going to get you one way or the other.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, a well-oiled machine on their side. They have great ball control, and that's why they're able to do some fancy footwork out there.
The 6'9" blocker from Rancho's Palos Verdes, and Palos Verdes Peninsula resident. Avery taking a little off it and going it down the line. Avery's getting fired up here.
He is getting very fired up. He wants this ball game, and that's a smart play from him, and answering back with his own high line. He saw Partain go into that pocket and challenge that block of Benesh.
Going to that area 2 serve. Knuckled over and kept in play by Andy on the broken play. Drost winds up, over dig by Miles. Drost unloading inside the block.
That is a huge point for Avery and Dalhausser. They needed that point in transition, and now they have a tied ball game.
I felt like he added a little more oomph on that swing because he knew Andy was up.
I'd say so.
13-13, and turn up the drama meter here. And the attack misses long, an uncharacteristic attack error. And like that, Dalhausser and Drost, double D now leading.
Yeah, I like that aggressive swing from Benesh, though. He was challenging the high hands of Dalhausser and saw that deep seam.
Stay relaxed, Avery, stay relaxed.
Really high pass, and Andy takes care of it. There was only one way they were going on that one.
Yeah.
He was not going to set that ball to such a high pass. 14 serving 14.
Yeah, you never know with that duo. One of my favorite teams to watch.
I'm looking at the crowd zone and tricks where you're saying Partain versus the Taylors in the winner's semi.
There you go.
Phil aggressively stepping in, taking that pass, and that was a monstrous hit by Phil. I hope you heard that audio off the context on the stream here.
Serving Phil.
He said, keep serving Phil.
You know, we need to get more heckling here in Manhattan Beach. I love hearing the heckling because there are times I just get caught speechless and laughing. Serves one into the net. Someone out here yesterday, you know, when one team, one of the players made an error and the coach is on the bench, is like, see, your coach is texting another partner right now.
The hecklers in this sport are second to none.
Going over on 2 is Phil, and knocks down the overpass, but out of play. Right idea, just not so good on the execution.
I love Andy just casually putting his hands up just to take space. He was probably a foot off of the net and earned that soft block.
Andy and Miles now the 1 point lead. A little seesaw battle happening here in our second set. Good anticipation by Miles on that dig on the attack by Drost. And again, transition ball action. He goes high line on that winner.
Yeah, just adding another dig to Miles Partain's stats here. Great read there, big crossover, explosive step, early platform under that ball to lift it for his buddy, forcing a timeout on the core Avery and Dalhausser.
I'm wondering what they're going to employ in their strategy here, down 2 in the second set. It's a must win to force that third for Phil and Avery. It's not like they are playing poorly here in the second set. I think they're being kept off balance by this 2-ball attack by Andy and Miles.
Yeah, I mean, of course, back and forth action, but like, it's the on-2 option, right? Like, you have to respect it, and we've seen Partain put the ball away on 2. We've seen him set Andy on 2. I said it before, and I'll say it again. I like seeing Miles maybe not force it as much in transition and finding Benesh up there, given that Benesh has such a wide range in offense. But in serve receive, I do love seeing Partain force the option in serve receive.
Yeah. Well, after watching the international ball in recent weeks, like watching Stade and Vienna and of course the Olympics, it's just from the women's side to the men's side, the men are taking big cracks at the ball, whereas the women are a little more crafty. Yeah. They
are crafty, but let me tell you, those girls are freaking getting after it. It is insane. On the sand here for the AVP and international level, those women are cracking that ball.
Drost with the pass bias to the right side, and Drost swings away for the winner, stopping the scoring run by Benesh and Partain at 16-17. Good looking play by Avery. That was be more of an out of system play, but he came around, hit that front bump set. Smooth as silk, we'll say. High pass, Partain's gonna take a rip.
And there it is in serve receive, right? So just like I touched on, I think it's a really great option in serve receive, and it works a high percentage of the time for their team.
Well, it's interesting seeing the different styles of play, not only in the AVP, but on the world level. You have the run and gun offenses, you have the option ball on 75% of the balls, and we have a little broken play action on that tough serve, and Sand Monster sighting. Avery tripping over something on the sand there. Right side attack, and going up and over the block is Miles, but it misses long. 17-18. I think Avery may have tripped on the rope as he tried to get that ball that he had passed out of play. Crunch time with Andy and Miles leading by 1.
With Phil running up to the net here, there may be another option play in serve receive for Benesh and Partain.
Well, we have one team already set up in our 12 p.m. match number 30. It's the Taylors coming up here at 12 noon. And pulling from the net was Phil. Andy goes cross court on the blast. Dietrich, Paul Lotman is not bald. He just wears it high and tight.
Benesh at the service line. A first line of attack here at this level of volleyball is the serve.
19-17. Avery seeing majority of the serves, and Avery taking on the block of Andy.
Earning a touch and a point.
On the limbo stick follow through, he was keeping his balance, trying not to hit the net.
Yeah.
18-19, Avery draws great at weddings. He wins that limbo stick competition all the time. Drost off the cable, picked up by Andy. Over the block, great dig by Avery on the anticipated trap set. And winning through is Avery. Miles takes a rip.
Great play from Partain in transition. A wonderful touch off that block from Benesh, being able to win that joust, come down, lift it on his side. Smart option on two from Partain. Quick play in transition has them with a possible match point.
First match point served at 18. And Drost dropping one of the baby Cuddy. 19 looking at match point number 2.
Smart play there.
Winner of this match faces the Taylors. And that'll be at 12 noon for all you on the Bally Live feed. 12 noon Pacific, I should say. First deep serve over towards Andy. And Andy going to the finesse game placement, winner for point, set, and match as Miles Partain and Andy Benesh take care of Phil Dalhausser and Avery Drost. 21-18, 21-19 for Avery and Phil. They drop down and play in contenders match number 54. So they are still alive on Survival Saturday, while moving on to match number 30, which will be streamed live here on Bally Live. It's number 3 seed Andy Benesh, Miles Partain facing the number 2 seed Taylor Crabb and Taylor Sander. Big closing thoughts after our match here on court 1.
Yeah, defense wins games at the end of the day. Partain with 14 digs, Benesh with 4 blocks, and that's what really made the difference here. Yes, it was a heavy serve and pass battle, but at the end of the day, Partain and Benesh utilizing that on-2 option, not only in serve receive, but in transition as well, to solidify that victory.
Well, with that, we're going to close out our coverage here on court number 1 until the hour. I don't even have our next one ready to go yet, quite Vic, but we will be on. There will be another match here in about 8 or so minutes. I'm Rob Sparrow for Victoria Dennis. We'll see you in a few.
That's high? It's perfect.